I was asking Coach about kind of building connection with so many new faces this offseason. One of the things he talked about is playing paintball and how he was a popular target.
Yeah.
What does it mean just to have your coach out there putting himself out there to take shots from you guys, literally, but as a group too, to build cohesiveness that way? How do you feel like that has progressed this summer?
I think like seeing Coach Lane out there playing paintball with us kind of shows him that he's trying to reiterate connection on his side of the spectrum too. I know that helps a lot of young players too, seeing your coach involved in activities like that rather than just standing on the side, because it shows that like if you really want to connect and grow with each other, then you got to be in it together, and he's showing that. So
you're one of the unique players that's experienced an offensive line change in its entirety a couple years ago. Besides yourself, the unit's going to do it again. What can you just bring from that experience in, I think, 2020 when you guys had to replace that group of Shane and Hanson and stuff to make sure that this year's line change goes so smoothly?
I mean, you kind of just got to remind each other that there's not going to be no fall off. Just because some dudes were here for a couple of years and they executed perfectly, that doesn't mean that the new guys coming in are going to be the ones to mess it up. So I think just reiterating everyone our principles that we have as an offensive line, but as well as that connection, because the one main thing that those groups like Shane Lemieux, Panay and all them, and even Alex Forsythe, Ryan Walker, and the group that was here last year, the biggest thing they had was connections on and off the field. So I think when you are able to play connected as an offensive line, that's going to help you later on into the season, and it's going to help you win games better. So just know that we're not the weakest link. Have that mentality going into it, and everything will be all right.
Is it too early to know that connection's there or not yet?
No, I don't think so. I think it starts from day one. I mean, and connection's always growing. It's not like a set standard or a set level that it can be at. I think connection will always grow. That's why the more years that Alex Forsythe, Ryan Walker, and all of us played together from 2019, 2020, all the way up until last season, you could see the improvement steadily over time. But it's not just because of individual improvement. It was group improvement with working together. So,
what are Bo's strengths? What are some of his unique traits as a quarterback?
His great understanding of the defense. We'll be at practices and he'll be out there reading every single defensive position, knowing exactly what they're doing, as well as guiding us as an offensive line. I think it's important when a quarterback knows what the O-line is doing too, because then it'll help you execute later on down the road. But I mean, even off the field, he's a great character. A lot of us look to him as a leader because he's the one who's leading us through it, I guess. But yeah, no, he's a great dude. I love him.
When you look at Will in the new system, how does it compare to last year? How would you describe the style of offense y'all are going to play this year under him?
I think it's going to be a little bit similar from last year. It's still main emphasis, I think, is running the ball. You always got to be able to run the ball to win games, and as an offensive lineman, we love that. But also, he's not afraid to take deep shots down the field, as well as cut up some random schemes, like bring in some cool gap schemes or anything like that. Like, I think it is a little bit different from Dillingham's, but I think that same mentality of attacking the defense is still there. So.
And just looking at him as a dude, like what kind of personality does he bring to that position?
He's a great dude. He's one of those dudes who come in and you know what type of time he's on. He's here to work. Every time he steps into that building, he's ready to work, but he's also not afraid to make connections as well. You'll see him out there in the middle of practice smiling, having a good time, and I think that rubs off of every other player, because even if the OC is out there having fun, then there's no reason why you shouldn't be having fun. So I think he's a great guy for our offense, and it's going to be exciting this year.
Bo obviously going to be, the solidified start of this year, but he talked so much about it being an open competition at quarterback between those three guys. Just from the offensive line standpoint, the outside looking in, how do those three guys push each other, especially this spring and summer?
Well, I don't think this really is a solidified starter, because if someone ever goes down, the next person has to be ready to go back up. And if you go in with the mentality that, he's the starter, I'm the second string, and I'm the third string, then you could slack off mentally before each game. So I think with the mindset of just being able to go in whenever your name is called, that's important for every single quarterback, every position on the field. So I think all of our quarterbacks that we have right now are really good. They all have their own personal good qualities and things that they always want to work on as well. So whoever's back there, I know I got to protect them. So.
How crazy is it for you knowing you're going into your 6th year here?
I mean, it flies by. I still feel like I got here in 2018 with Panay Sewell and Justin Johnson and all those dudes, Dawson Jaramilla, and now it's my 6th one, and I'm the only man left. I'm like, dang, I need to get out of here. I've been here a little too long, but no, I love it. I appreciate every single moment of it. My parents always tell me you only do college once, so enjoy what you can, because once it's over, and you're a real adult. So I want to be a college kid forever, I guess. I don't know.
This is your offensive line really to lead this year. How does that feel knowing that this is kind of your group?
You know, it's interesting. At first it was a little bit weird because I was so used to always having the same dudes that I started with, finished with at the season, but now it's just there's not a lot of old heads on the team, especially in the offensive line position. So, I mean, I just know that there's shoes to fill and there's things that we got to do and still execute as an offensive line. So I'm more important on that. I think I'm ready to see all my young guys who are going to be able to play this year actually go out there and show their true talents. I think that's really good for them. But no, it's just shown how how long I've been here. I guess I don't know, but I'm really appreciative of it that they all look to me as a leader. So.
What you guys were able to do this last season as far as, protecting Bo and applying that mantra from good to great, how much pressure does that sort of add on this group? And as you mentioned, a lot of new pieces coming along.
As we know, there's like big shoes to fill, but we also know that you fall back on your preparation, and if we prepare every single day like we need to, then coming into the season, it'll go how it goes, and however it is, that's what it is. But as of right now, we're just preparing for the first game and the first game only. Go from there. As soon as we get that first game over, on to the next one and on to the next one. But no, I think as an offensive line, like you said, that there is a little bit of pressure from that, but you can't let the pressure get to you. You just got to stick to the script, stick to what you know, and keep on executing together as an offensive line.
What's an area you feel like you guys can improve on from last year?
I'd just say probably playing together as an offensive line group. I mean, the guys who left last year, they were all here together for 4+ years. Even when they weren't playing, they were on the practice squad together. So I think they always had enough time and enough reps with each other that's one area in which that we need to still get our reps into, because everyone here, I think majority of them are freshmen and sophomores, and barely any of them have been able to see the field. So I think just the importance with this fall camp coming up to make sure we get reps together, we go to the film room together, we learn from it, and we keep on moving from it. I think that's going to be able to help us succeed.
I don't know how much time you got to spend with Trey Holden yet, but what kind of guy is he, and what do you foresee him bringing to that wide receiver?
He's a really good receiver. I mean, I see him out there always making plays. He's a good dude, too, off the field. I always see him in the locker room smiling, but I'm just excited to see what he does this year here at Oregon. I'm glad he came here.
You made people talk about the O-line being new, but I mean, there's 5 new receivers too.
Mm-hmm.
What do you foresee about that group? What do you like about that collection of dudes?
I mean, they all are, they're different in their own ways, but they all also bring a lot of good to the table. We have dudes like Chris Hudson, Trey, Tez, Justice Lowe. I think all those dudes who are coming in this year, it's going to be a new spotlight for them, so it's going to be awesome to see what they do. I'm excited.
Dan called the theme of the offseason good to great. How do you explain that from personally, from your unit? What did you guys embrace in that theme?
I feel like the biggest thing from good to great is, in my opinion, not doing the bare minimum. Being good you'd be doing all the workouts completely, you get every single rep in, and you're making sure that you're there on time, everything. But being great is you're making sure that you're getting the extra time in off the field, you're getting extra studying on film, whatever it is, reading the playbook, whatever it is. It's just taking that next step and doing everything in life, essentially, even when you're off the field doing business. So good to great is not just we did the bare minimum, it's exceeding past the bare minimum and always doing more.
Going back to that connection thing, you guys did the Spencer's Web or the Spencer View climb. There's some guys on the team now that never knew Spencer. So, what kind of role have you taken on in explaining some of those connection things to the new guys, and how have they sort of embraced that messaging from you guys? I
mean, I think one of the biggest things that I came in with Spencer, me and him were in the same recruiting class, and I looked at him as a good friend. I mean, it's obvious it sucks to lose, someone that you care about on the team, but it's most important to make sure you make sure that their legacy lasts for a longer time. So if anyone ever has a question about Spence, or I hear them talk about Spence, I'll tell them the stories that he's always had, all the crazy things he always did, because Spence was a wild one, but he was a great dude, and we all loved him on the team. But I think little events like that is essentially holding on to their legacy and going on the hike every year. I think that's going to be good, and it's also going to spread knowledge to the generations that come behind us and learn more about Spencer and who he was.
Last question. Previewing the season, you got an opportunity, or there's an opportunity for people to step up on this offensive line with you. What have you seen from Josh Conley, and where has he grown, and what do you expect from him this year?
Josh Conley, he's one of those dudes who, coming out of high school, you already knew that he was going to be great. I think this upcoming season will say a lot. This is finally his time to shine and to get out there and go have fun. I'm looking forward to all my offensive line guys, him, Marcus Harper, Jackson Powers-Johnson, Dave Iuli, Lipe, Poncho, Ope, Nashad, he just got here, Johnny, all my dudes that I play offensive line with. I'm excited to see every single one of them succeed in whichever way possible. Yeah, and I think for Josh, it's going to be a really good year for him. I can't wait. I know he's going to hold it down on his side. So,
Thanks, Steve.
appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.